Hey guys, it's Christina. I chose to do my speech on Benjamin Franklin, one of the great founding fathers. Just to start off with a quote that I really like by him is, "Three can keep a secret if two of them are dead," which I'm pretty sure most people would gladly agree on that that's very true. He was born on January 17th, 1706 in Boston, Massachusetts, and he died April 17th, 1790 in Philadelphia. Um, Benjamin Franklin was one of eight between his parents, so money was obviously tight, but he was really into school. He was like one of the only ones of his brothers and sisters who actually went all the way through school. He was always challenging himself. He was always into trying new things, experimenting, writing, um, all the way up until he died. He was always on the go, inventing and whatnot. He was married to Deborah Reed. They had three kids. He mainly lived in Boston. That's where his residence was set up. But because he was a political advisor and diplomat, he was always traveling overseas. He also resided in a place in London as well as Paris. His family never traveled with him. They always stayed home in Boston, but he always sent money back and made sure they were taken care of. Um, in short, he was a man of many trades. He was he did things including he was a founding father, he was an author, printer, publisher, postmaster, politician, musician, scientist, inventor, diplomat. Basically, you name it, Ben Franklin probably was it. So, as well as probably his biggest contribution was probably that he was one of the many authors for the Declaration of Independence as well. Um, Also, with those many names that he was able to publish many almanacs, books, gazettes, including his most famous was probably Poor Richard's, that he was actually an author under a fake name. Um, he was the first U.S. ambassador over in France. He invented things such as famous bifocals, the lightning rod, with his kite experiment, the storm, and the Franklin stove, which was actually a really big deal back then. He also established the first fire department and a university in Philadelphia. Um, so, based on just that overview of him, some interesting facts that I found pretty cool were that he conceived the idea for daylight savings time. His face is located on on many postage stamps, $100 bill, and he has a huge statue and museum in honor of him, dedicated in Philadelphia, known as the Franklin Institute. Compared to Bill Clinton and George Washington, Franklin is the most popular common name for cities in the United States. So that's a pretty big deal. Um, his father married twice, so between his first marriage and his second marriage to Ben Franklin's mother, Ben Franklin was his 15th kid, and then between the two, he was their eighth. Um, his mother came from the Folger family, which I thought was interesting because the Folger family later, one of the descendants actually was the inventor of Folgers coffee. So I just thought that was a neat side fact. But that's just a basic overview of Ben Franklin and how where he came from. He was a man of many hats. He basically did it all. Huge contributor to society as well as the world. Um, gave you background on his family life, like the contributions he made, some interesting facts, as well as his legacy that still lives on. Ben Franklin's always going to be remembered and talked about, and he's just a huge, huge factor, not only to the country, but to the world. So I hope you guys enjoyed it and learned a little bit something extra on Ben Franklin.